Good morning, and welcome to your AI Daily Press morning podcast for December 25, 2025. I'm your host, Walter. Asfura, the Trump-backed candidate, has secured 52.6% of the vote, but opposition leader Nasrallah is alleging electoral fraud and calling for a recount. Secondly, from Japan, the government has announced plans to scrap its target of achieving a primary budget surplus in a specific fiscal year. This shift in approach reflects a broader strategy to manage Japan's economy and fiscal policy more flexibly and sustainably. Lastly, Prime Minister Takaichi is considering her first visit to the United States in March for talks with President Trump. The meeting is seen as an opportunity for the two leaders to coordinate their policies towards China, especially given the intensifying pressure from Beijing over remarks on a potential Taiwan contingency. These stories highlight significant developments in global politics and economics. We'll continue to bring you updates and analysis throughout the day. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
You, Walter, and Nanshul and know what's right now. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskwiser.
Thank you, Barbara. As we kick off the day, let's take a quick look at the top stories that have been making waves in the financial world. Firstly, we've been following the intriguing story of Oracle, which has been navigating a complex web of risks and rewards. While some analysts are bullish about its prospects, others are more cautious, reminding us that the tech industry is full of surprises. Next, we saw the Russian ruble making a remarkable ascent, becoming one of the top-performing assets globally. This notable achievement can be attributed to various factors, including the nation's efforts to combat inflation and the effects of international sanctions. On the other hand, Bitcoin seems to be missing out on the festive cheer, with its lackluster performance raising questions about its role as a store of value. Lastly, the latest U.S. GDP report sent shockwaves through the financial markets, with investors reassessing their positions. The strong growth has led to a decrease in the chances of a Fed rate cut, and we've seen significant movements in currency and precious metals markets. Gold and silver have posted all-time highs on the nearest futures charts, supported by bullish underlying factors such as central bank demand and geopolitical risks. As we navigate this complex landscape, remember, past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Stay informed, stay ahead, and tune in to our expert analysis and insights throughout the day to help you make informed investment decisions. Until next time. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, we have Peter Williams, an interior designer who creates extraordinary gingerbread houses that are intricate, elaborate, and downright impressive. His process involves baking hundreds of pieces of gingerbread, applying pounds of frosting or icing, and meticulously crafting every detail. What's remarkable about Williams' story is not just the sheer scale and complexity of his creations, but also the science behind them, from caramelizing sugar to experimenting with materials like gelatin sheets. Next, we have Peter Larkin, an artist who uses AI algorithms to create unique and thought-provoking pieces. His work involves using natural language processing to generate poetry that is then translated into visual art, showcasing the potential for machines to contribute to the creative process in meaningful ways. Larkin believes in collaboration between humans and machines, aiming to augment human capabilities and explore new dimensions of creativity. Lastly, we touch on a story about Peter Williams' gingerbread houses again, but this time highlighting his dedication, skill, and passion for creating these edible masterpieces while balancing a full-time job. His journey into extreme gingerbread housemaking began in high school, and over the years, he has refined his techniques, experimented with different materials, and pushed the boundaries of what is possible with this traditional holiday treat. These stories inspire us to look at familiar things with new eyes, experiment, and never stop exploring our potential. Whether you're a fan of gingerbread, architecture, art, or AI, these tales are sure to captivate and inspire. Stay curious, keep exploring, and remember, even in the smallest details, there can be a universe of wonder waiting to be discovered. Goodbye from the AI Daily Press. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. We have an exciting lineup of stories to discuss today, ranging from the NFL's Christmas Day matchups to nostalgic tales from legendary quarterback Tom Brady and a preview of the highly anticipated Army versus Navy game. First off, our experts have analyzed the upcoming Christmas Day NFL games, predicting that the Cowboys will cover against the Commanders, while the Vikings will keep it close against the Lions. The Broncos are expected to rebound from their loss to the Jaguars and secure a win against the Chiefs, although it may be a closer contest than anticipated. In other news, Tom Brady has shared a nostalgic story about his adventures with the New England Patriots back in 2010, involving an impromptu visit to Dinosaur Barbecue in Rochester, New York. This tale offers a light-hearted glimpse into the life of one of the NFL's most iconic figures, humanizing Brady beyond his on-field accomplishments. Lastly, we're gearing up for the highly anticipated Army versus Navy game, with coaches from both sides weighing in on the significance of this iconic rivalry. The Army Black Knights are looking to bounce back from a tough loss last season, while the Navy midshipmen are seeking to continue their winning streak. With talented rosters and seasoned coaching staff on both sides, this year's matchup promises to be an exciting and closely contested affair. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curel.
Thank you, Howard. In our recent special editions, we've been exploring stories that highlight the resilience and strength of communities across America. First, we took a journey to Massachusetts, where we discovered the historic town of Plymouth, celebrating its 400th anniversary. We explored the town's rich history, from the Pilgrims' arrival to the present day, and met with locals who shared their stories and traditions. Next, we traveled to Palau, where we examined the recent agreement between the U.S. and Palau to resettle migrants on the island nation. We delved into the complexities of this issue, considering the perspectives of human rights advocates, policymakers, and other stakeholders. Finally, we visited Arizona, where communities in Gila and Mojave counties are recovering from devastating monsoon floods that hit in September. Despite the challenges, we saw firsthand the strength and solidarity of rural America, as residents came together to support one another and rebuild their lives. These stories remind us of the importance of community, kindness, and compassion, especially during the holiday season. We'll continue to follow these stories and provide updates as more information becomes available. I'm Charles, wishing you a peaceful and reflective day ahead. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Like you, Charles, we've got a fabulous show lined up for you today, filled with all the latest scoop on entertainment and lifestyle. First off, let's dive into our top story. The making of the 2000 film How the Grinch Stole Christmas has been revealed in a shocking exposé. You won't believe the behind-the-scenes antics and personal struggles that Jim Carrey faced while bringing this beloved character to life. We've got all the juicy details, from panic attacks to surprise visits from comedy legends. Next up, we're talking about the importance of mental health and self-care in the entertainment industry. Our recent article highlights the need for open dialogue and support for performers who often push themselves to extreme lengths to bring their creative visions to life. And finally, it's the most wonderful time of the year. We're celebrating the magic of the holiday season with a special report on the Disney Parks' magical Christmas Day parade. With a star-studded lineup of hosts and performers, including Alfonso Ribeiro and Jennifer Goodwin, this festive extravaganza is not to be missed. And don't worry if you don't have traditional cable, we've got all the details on how to stream it online for free. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David Attenature.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, in Europe, a groundbreaking conservation effort is underway in the form of a massive rewilding project aimed at restoring natural habitats and promoting biodiversity. This initiative seeks to return large areas of land to their natural state, allowing native species to flourish once more. Secondly, in Kenya, environmental activist Trufena Muthoni made headlines with her 72-hour tree-hugging marathon, raising awareness about the alarming rate of deforestation and the importance of preserving indigenous forests. Her efforts have sparked a national conversation about the need to protect Kenya's unique and threatened tree species. Lastly, the world's oceans are facing an unprecedented crisis due to climate change, with rising temperatures, acidification, and pollution pushing marine ecosystems to the brink of collapse. The recent International Court of Justice opinion recognizing climate change as an urgent and existential threat has paved the way for holding governments accountable for their actions on climate change. These stories highlight the urgency of environmental conservation and the need for collective action to protect our planet's biodiversity, ecosystems, and ultimately human well-being. We'll be exploring these topics in more depth throughout the week. And that completes our morning podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until this evening, I'm David Attenacher for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.